I think for other information or other discussion, we could you know, go to operations channel and discuss it with. Thank you again, Joe. I think the next one will be Jim. Is Jim around? No. Okay. So for my updates, I finally so a lot of things happened this week, right? A lot of things has been going on the past week. First is that we had this great meeting with Demos. Demos, it's headed by it's a progressive think tank, and we were able to talk to Heather McGee, which is the president of Demos, and Quinn Ellsworth, the digital communications director. What's amazing with that is that they were so excited about the idea of Progressive Coders Network, and I think what VG and I realized are what specific asks, just to add on to what you said, Joe, a while ago, is what specific asks we should do for these organizations. And we had a bit of idea from it, but at the same time, after that meeting, we went to meet with the Bowles Foundation, which is a progressive organization from a progressive think tank from Germany. And through that, we had this amazing conversation about what ProgCode is, what we're trying to do, what are the projects, and we were able to give them updates or information about the projects that are being supported by ProgCode. And one of the things that they were able to provide us or offer us is that they would be willing to funnel in their programmers, their volunteer coders. And with that, like, we're like, what we realized there, and VG has been so amazing on this. Like, she's not able to be here because she's sick. So I hope she gets well soon. But the thing that really resonated with us throughout those meetings is that we are able to connect with them through our projects. And we have projects that are already out and doing something. And they're asking their volunteer coders to do something for them, which we may have had created already. So one of the ideas that was floated around that meeting is that for their progressive coders, for the coders that are volunteering to these organizations, be funneled into our community so that they could coordinate and communicate with us. So moving forward, I think I've asked the leadership already if they're willing or open to having these programmers or coders in. Oh, sorry, Jin's here. So what we want to happen now is when we go to organizations, when we engage with these different organizations, we want them to provide or like ask them if they're open to the possibility of giving their coders to us. So that was one. Another thing that is happening this week is we have already started pointing out civic tech communities. So I created a channel called Civic Tech Communities, and I think Joe is helping me compile all the civic tech communities available right now. And one of the things that we want is to reach out to them or push people into going to those events. So again, these are all in line with the strategy that we've made through the past few weeks. And I'm really looking forward to having those put into action. A couple of things, I think. VG, starting next week, we will be setting up a list of all the progressive organizations as well. And we will be tasking VG to reach out to every single one of them. So if you know anyone or if we already have a contact to different organizations outside, like let's say, I don't know, EDA, DFA, etc., please let us know so that we could reach out to them easily. Again, the main ask would be a give and take, because I feel that these organizations are more focused on their campaigns, right? And what we're doing is awesome. What we're doing is essentially creating a system wherein their coders or the progressive coders can coordinate with each other on tech projects, and that's the value that we're putting into all these different organizations. So so there's this back and forth happening, and a supportive community for their coders, so that so that there's just going to be an explosion of ideas soon. So we're really uniquely positioned in that regard. Right. So other things one of the things that I really wanted to make focus on is that Demos is asking for help in one of their projects about income inequality and campaign financing. So I would have loved Gwen to be here to explain it further, but maybe we could ask her next week. But one of the things that Demos is working on, if you check out their website at demos.org, or demosaction.org, I think, is that they're working on mapping out a system or places where there's a lot of donors giving out money to campaigns, and it's not representative of the people living there. So one of their case studies is Florida, and you can see how the white population in Florida is funneling in a lot of monies into different campaigns that are against the interests of the people living there. So they already have the report out, but they want to have the visualization of the data. So one of the assets I'm going to push for the community is to help out Demos, and they are actually, we have set up a channel for Demos Tech Initiative. So if you guys want to join there, please go to hashtag Demos-Tech. So to discuss more on those efforts. So that's the model we're trying to move forward to, so that if there are other coders coming in, which will be a lot, because one of the, so we have already a lot of partners in the UK, in Germany, and in Canada. So we are trying to ask more people to go into our network so that we could be expanded internationally, and progressive coders from different parts could help out on different projects being worked on here. Because one of the focus that we have is also open source technology. So these are all replicatable, forkable projects that anyone in the progressive movement, in the grassroots movement, can do. So that's always our focus, which is service to grassroots, service to app creators. And I think it's everything that has been said right now, especially what Saskia is doing amazingly is really in line with our purpose. And I'm really excited to help out each and every one of you. And I think, so that's my update. I think Joe is here, and sorry, Jim. And Jim, would you like to talk about your project before we end this call?